Hello, SpeedGaming. Welcome back to the Cross Game Cup. We've got a fantastic match for you today. We're going to be seeing the face-off of Team Orange versus Green versus Check the Tree. These are two of our best teams in the tournament by far. Cosmonaut and Cestrion actually took the last Cross Game Cup, if my memory is correct. They're absolute beasts in this game. And OBG are no slouches either. I'm joined here by my co-commentator.
Hello, I'm Bello Kikrini, but you can just call me Bello for short.
Alright, I'll be happy to do that. Can you tell us a bit about this race? Are there any good RAs?
Well, on the Prime side, the runners have agreed to allow the use of Spring Ball, and on the Echo side, we are making use of the brand new Patcher.
What does the new Patcher do? I've heard it changes some puzzles, but I'm not super well versed in it.
Yes, so for Echoes, the new Patcher does a few things. The most noticeable that we're gonna be seeing at the start of this race is the access to GFMC. So the Roomba 4 GFMC compound will be in post-layer, meaning that you will need to have either Boost Ball or Screw Attack in order to break the grid.
Okay, so it's no longer like unbreakable if you lower it.
No. And secondly, this will also randomize a few of the puzzles, namely the ones that are in sync, and also the Echo locks with Echo Visor and Annihilator Beam.
All right, that definitely sounds really interesting. I can't wait to see some of that later. For now, we see our first item. Alcove is an energy tank. That is Alcove, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
And a Boost Ball in landing site too.
That's very convenient. That was an Echo's boost ball, right?
Yes. Meanwhile, Cestrion and Baja are on their way to fight Dark Alpha Splinter, we lovingly nicknamed Albert.
Albert shouldn't give us too much trouble. We do start with 15 missiles. Or no, wait, 10 missiles. And we already got a refill, at least on Cestrion's side.
Yeah, so on this preset, we start with 5 missiles, but it looks like Umos just gave them a free missile expansion.
Ooh, that's very convenient. It's not actually, but, you know, it's still helpful.
It's definitely going to speed things up a bit against Albert. And an E-Tank on Artifact Temple to help out the Echoes players start out. Some very synchronized scanning from Cosmo and TGC. Pretty fun to watch.
It's choreographed. You're actually just watching the same stream twice.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm joking, of course. Also, I do like how Team OVG actually does their color, like their HUD color, to match their colors, you know? Like, TGC has orange and Baja Blood is green. That's a really nice touch. I just noticed that.
Indeed. And we're also, I think we're getting to see some changes of the new patcher for Echoes allowed. So thanks to the new patcher, we can also use the multiplayer colors for Echoes.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, so that's why Baja here is rocking the green suit.
Interesting. That's gonna be an SDK.
And Echo Visor in TTB.
Fantastic. It's always a very early item, and I don't think the Echo Visor is going to really do anything for us right now, or in the near future.
Not really, but...
The only way is if we find Annihilator Beam, and then we could take the portal in Temple Grounds and do the puzzle, but that is just a single check.
Yeah, but that also opens up a scary possibility that we call Mining Plaza that the Echoes runner are just about to check entering Aegon here.
Beam-related upgrade in Accursed Lake. Also, somebody in chat mentioned that our prime runners are choosing not to check hints. That's actually not too surprising. It's pretty common for high-level players not to check hints until much later in the seed
Yes,
for
and
their artifacts.
there are a few reasons for that too. So first of all, and that's
Oh,
kind
we
of
got a morph ball
specific
hints.
to CGC, but you're gonna get some downtime, definitely in the run. So you might as well want to check the hints while you can't do anything. But one more other general reason is
Yeah,
that right now,
even in just prime matches where they're only playing prime, you'll also see this behavior. Extremely common. We want to see it after we've come to sort of a stopping point. The start of prime is pretty linear, so we don't really need direction on what to do.
yes, it's right now they don't have most of the items that will open up the world like crazy, such as wave beam, bombs, or Varia suit.
Supers in gallery wall. And also, we did get a hint for morph ball from the elevator in Temple Grounds. So I believe that was in Echoes somewhere, but I didn't see exactly where.
I couldn't catch that either.
Oh, it's on DMT. Thank you, Adraxis.
Ah, that's definitely an interesting location.
Yeah, that means we have to defeat Bomb Guardian, and that might seem like a bit of a non sequitur, but basically, Dark Missile Trooper only spawns after you've defeated the Bomb Guardian. It's the same with the item on GFMC. That item only spawns after you've defeated the Jump, which is another one that a lot of people don't really realize until they start playing Rando. So that's definitely going to add a lot of requirements. That means now that our Echoes players, if we want to get the Morph Ball, are going to need some way out of the Bomb Guardian fight. There are some gates that close behind you, and you're meant to blow them up with the bombs. That's one way to get out, if our Echoes players find bombs. We can also use Screw Attack, or with if we get Space Jump, we can slope jump out of that room.
And it looks like they're gonna have this option as Baja just found the space jump in Portal Access A.
Both of our Echoes players already have the Space Jump, and Cestrion is going to immediately capitalize upon it. The tree is where the Space Jump is hiding for the Prime players. And that's a progressive suit for Baja Blood on the grapple ledge. I'm sure it won't be too long until Cosmog grabs those.
Yeah, definitely. And in the meantime, Cetrion is showing off some fast strats to take care of Bomb Guardian in only 2 cycles. So what Cestrion has been doing with this boss is that there are certain damage thresholds in which you will have to skip in order to make this fight a lot faster. And Screw Attack on Bomb Guardian, this is very good. But yes, as I was saying, you can sort of skip these thresholds if you do enough damage. So instead of the usual 4 cycles, you can, with such manipulations, you can do this in only 2 cycles with Charge Beam and missiles.
Oh, and we've received a cannon well from our Prime player.
Ooh,
That's very interesting, but it's not a good time to receive it. We haven't gone to Portal Access A. We have no way around it. So either we use it to check this item, which is just light ammo. So that's Baja Blood's cannonball already gone. It lasted just like 2 minutes, less than that even.
Yeah,
That was actually
unfortunately.
more like 30 seconds. Top.
Yeah. But on the flip side, TGC has found the Echo's main power bombs in Vault.
And yeah, I do think it was the right choice to sacrifice the cannonball there, because it's just not convenient. If we were trying to hold on to that, we would have to make so many sacrifices that just wouldn't be worth it. Getting to check that item early is, I think, a good use of the cannonball, instead of just completely wasting it by going to Portal Access A.
Yeah, and since the Echoes players also have a Dark Suit now, pretty early on, the Dark World damage is not going to be as much of an issue.
Yeah, pretty much the only reason we'd want to hold on to Cannonball is for that instant kill potential on some enemies. And we have no reason to believe that Chica is in our future right now, so that's not super important.
Okay. And Cosmonaut here, unfortunately not quite getting the tiny wall crawl to Arbor Chamber from Root Cave. So wall crawl sounds a little scary, but this is the easiest wall crawl in the entire series, hands down.
Absolutely, because it's literally you're moving like 20 feet, maybe at most, less than
Yeah.
that. So, and you're pretty much always on some pretty predictable geometry. There's not really anything that can interrupt you here. And again, you're only transferring a single room.
I mean, there's still some risk
Especially
involved.
when the out of bounds is literally just sort of walking up the ceiling, as opposed to finding secret worlds like in Echoes, which can be a bit tricky. It's very consistent, and
Yes.
there's more fall.
So there was still a bit of risk involved with doing this wall crawl for the prime side, namely because if you walk off the invisible standable that Cestrion and that Cosmo and TGC used, you can get stuck on some non-standable
Interesting.
terrain. And if
Cestrion
you
resets out of the DMT fight, while Baja Blood continues down, even though Baja Blood can't check the item in Hive Chamber B. I think that Cestrion definitely made a smart move. That's gonna get him a bit ahead, depending on where this save location is.
and we just found Dark Beam in Frigate Crash site too.
Big news. That's big news. And yeah, another thing, because we did know where Boost Ball was, that means that Cannonball's boost power is also not going to be super relevant either. So that definitely reinforces the decision that we were talking about earlier. I already liked that choice, and now I like it more.
Mm. Right, so here showing off on the Echo side, showing off the benefits of that reset. Cestrion has already pivot saved in Aegon.
We're already at Mining Station A, whereas
Yes.
Baja Blood is only just getting in the elevator.
And now going for labs. That Dark Beam that we just got also makes this a lot easier and a lot more favorable.
Yes, the Dark Beam is an item that you are normally meant to find in labs, and so a lot of the areas, a lot of the movement opportunity is locked behind it. But when we come into labs with the Dark Beam, all of those are open to us immediately. It's a lot easier to route things. You can do more. You don't have to worry about potentially getting stuck. It's much better. It's just much better this way.
Yes, definitely, and they can do also some parts of Dark Labs and then save warp out. So
absolutely,
it's very good.
Cosmonaut finds the artifact of nature. Presumably, that was in Ruined Shrine.
Oh yes, that was the morph ball placement.
Mm. We found a lot of early progression. This is definitely a decently fast seed so far.
Yeah, definitely. Although we haven't really gotten to the main course of the seed yet, I'd say, as we're kind of right now just finding the usual progression for the early game.
Yeah. We found it pretty fast. We've already got some of the later progression items like the Dark Suit, the Screw Attack, the Echo Visor, that normally lock us up later in the game, though, which is why I'm saying this is going kind of fast, because the other stuff like bombs, we're almost certainly going to find very soon, whereas those items aren't guaranteed. The Boost Ball as well. It's another one of those.
Yes. But there is still potential for bad checks, namely Spider Ball for Echoes.
Yes, absolutely. Or Gravity Boost, potentially.
Or any of the translators, too.
Absolutely. Especially Cobalt. Or Light Suit. But it's still nice to see that we've disarmed a few of those traps.
Yeah, and also, it's also noteworthy to point out that Prime doesn't really have any beam options yet, which are the big things that will lock progression in these games.
Absolutely.
And Emerald Translator is in Command
Another
Center.
artifact in Gathering Hall.
It really seems to be gathering all the artifacts in this hall.
Took me a second to get that one.
All right, and it looks like Cosmo is checking the artifacts. There's one in Fiery Shores, and the Gathering Hall we just talked about.
Orbis Energy Controller, Plane of Dark Worship,
and Furnace.
Transport Tunnel A, Main Reactor. Those are some of those are a little bit tricky to get to, but nothing too out of the way. Plane of Dark Worship, we already have Dark Suit and Dark Beam. Torvus Energy Controller, I'm sure we'll find Super Missiles soon. That's technically required to beat the game since there's a door on the path.
Yeah. GC is already fighting Incinerator Drone that we've affectionately called Zoid after the developer who coded the RNG for it.
Yes, Zoid Hirsch, I believe, is the name is.
Indeed.
I actually had his name legally changed to Zoid, which I think is really cool.
They had it changed, and this is awesome. Zoid is indeed a legend.
Absolutely. Worked on a lot of cool games.
And Spider Ball on Zoid for Prime 1.
That's very useful. We're right next to Furnace, so that could actually play a big role if we find our bombs soon. However, we don't have a way to get out. So unless we have some kind of knowledge about bombs, we're probably going to see a reset here.
Yeah. Bombs or Boost Ball. That would allow to...
both of these players I think probably could do a wall boost, and none of them want to. Wall boosts are just awful and terrible.
Yes. So what wall boosts are, for Skinny on it, is you roll up to a wall, and you will get some upwards momentum, and you use the boost ball at the precise exact timing in order to capitalize on that upwards momentum and get enough height that you can go into the morph ball tunnel. So I don't know if either of those have been located on the Echo's side.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen them. But I might have missed a hint. I didn't see what the very first hint was. Unlimited beam ammo. That's always a nice treat. That was in communication area. Cestrion just found it.
Yeah. Also,
Cosmonaut is electing to make the same choice, also waiting in Zoid.
So this is what I've been talking about earlier. This room right there is already in a post layer, so you won't have to scan the gate and roll under it.
And bombs were in those were in GFMC.
Yeah, very convenient, as it also allows them to check the other item in Burn Dome, which is
Cestrion resending it for the meme.
Yeah.
That item actually respawns once you hit the cutscene. If you've already gotten it before the cutscene, which you're not meant to do ordinarily, but which is entirely possible, then it will spawn it again, and you can duplicate it. For items like bombs, which don't involve an ammo counter, this does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and also we just found out that Quadraxis has power bomb expansion.
That's good news.
That's
very half good. Of the Quadraxis related checks. If we find a check for Umos reward, and that's nothing either, then we don't have to worry about quad at all.
Cestrion is already going for Sank entrance. Oh yeah, with Boost Ball, he can do it already.
Absolutely.
Well, this is interesting
We don't
because
have light beam to go further into sync. That's key.
yes, so we
That
don't
door
have
right there,
power
you can
bomb
see that's
either.
light beam. We can't get past it. But the item in sync entrance, I'm assuming we can get. I don't know how many power bombs we have.
I don't think we have them at the moment, actually. But I think what is happening is Cestrion is going to wait for a bit in there, waiting for
Ooh, plasma. Cosmonaut just
for
found that.
yes, because I believe Cosmo has also located the Echo's main PB in Vault, and now Prime can logically collect that item. Yes,
Well,
so
it's time for Cestrion to deal with the Arrow Pirates, which is convenient, I suppose.
oh right, I forgot about this climb actually. But
Oh, you're
yes,
right.
that is that is the way to skip needing to use power bombs for it. I've already done it too, so I just completely forgot about it. My bad.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I thought there was like a simpler one that I was just forgetting about. I don't know. Notably, Cestrion does not have the spider ball, whereas Baja does.
Oh yeah, just noticed that. What was?
That looked like a missile in St. Entrance.
Yeah, it looked like it.
It vaguely could have been a Seeker's, but I'm assuming that Cestrion got a much better look than I did, and, well, he's not getting it.
Ooh, and Wave Beam was in Upper Dynamo too.
Big news. But it's two beams accounted for on Prime's end. Both of them are
Yes,
pretty good.
Wave
Upper
Beam
Dynamo
and
is not ideal, but we've already got the Spider Ball, and we're not too far away. So revisiting Watery Hall is not like some huge, oh, woe is me, I have to go back to the room that I was in 2 minutes ago.
yes, yeah, and given the Spider Ball location, it's definitely good to do that cleanup now rather than later,
Absolutely.
regardless of the item.
All of the Elders, I think we missed that one for Artifact.
Yes, that was Hall of the Elders we missed. So
That's another not terrible one.
yeah. So with this combination of beams on the prime side, such with wave and plasma, this is probably telling them to go to Fendrana.
One problem with that, very astute. We don't have one.
Ooh, right. So we're one Varia away from going there too.
Could it
But
be
what
vanilla?
Wave Beam does?
Cosmonaut seems to be in of the belief that there's something on the plant.
Yeah. Most
Unfortunately, I
possibly.
can't switch the audio over to them, but I would if I could.
Mm. Okay, so here doing the first step of Flagra Vanilla, and then using some clever scan dashing, getting to getting near the bomb slots that are actually not bomb slots, just
That's
damage
correct.
triggers.
That
So
means, unlike a bomb slot where you have to physically be inside of it, you just have to have a bomb explode near it. And this is a massive oversight because this terrain it's not quite standable. It sort of is. But we have enough time to lay a bomb next to it, and well, that sort of defeats the whole purpose of the boss fight. We don't have to touch the mirrors. We don't have to stun Flagra. We just do it. We just fight the boss.
and
Session gets
on
unlimited missiles now as well. That was
yep,
actually what was on the boss. That wasn't just a missile. It was unlimited missiles. Very nice.
so unlimited missiles, unlimited beam ammo. Combat ability is going to be very good for Cestrion here.
Yeah, the only thing left in the air is double damage.
And right there on Baja's side, went out of bounds in the safe station room, whose name I forget. And going for dark. Oh, right. There's a sky temple key here. Yes, indeed. Every room is inside of a box, and within that box, Samus will obey the laws of physics. She will fall down if she's in the air. When she's on the ground, she can jump. But outside of that box, she won't be able to jump. Instead, she will slowly but surely float upwards. But here's the thing:
Yeah.
on the very edge of this box, you have a 3-frame window during which, if you walk in the Aether box, you can simply input a jump and gain some height from it. This is what we call the Aether jump, named after the box we have called the Aether box.
Yes. The Aether box, don't think of it like a cube with like walls. Think of it more like an infinite stack of floors, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Like, you can
definitely.
stand on top of it no matter how high or low down you are.
Well, there's still a ceiling to Aether boxes as well as floors,
Yes.
and you rarely want to be on the floor.
That's never good. You always want to be maintaining height. And that's an X-ray visor in Tower of Light. TGC just scores. Not to mention a beam here in... and that looks like a beam that Baja Blood's about to get.
Oh yeah, that's Ice Beam.
Yeah. There we go.
So, yeah, that's really big. All beams for Prime 1 opens up a lot of things. The only thing holding us back right now is Varia's suit.
Yeah. Once that opens, the world is our oyster. We've even got super missiles. The only thing we're really missing is Boost Ball and power bombs, I guess. But those will come to us, I'm sure. And Boost Ball
Most
doesn't actually
definitely.
block that much.
Yeah, but nevertheless, I think it can roll with this.
Baja Blood decides to get this missile expansion. There was some hesitation, but we only had 15, so another 5 is definitely helpful. Baja Blood has not received the infinite missiles yet.
Yes, and but perhaps TGC is going to head for Flagra the reverse way because he has super missiles and Spider Ball too.
I
Or
think we're going to
maybe
get these power bombs first.
yeah, most definitely. Then perhaps Flagra reverse.
Cosmonaut doing some really good combat dashes off of the Oculus. The Oculi, I suppose, since it's a plural. And gets his X-ray visor as well.
In the meantime, Baja is shooting the evil statue. There's definitely not an invisible boss in front of it. Oh hey, look at that! That's a Jump Guardian. Oh no, why is he hurt?
I don't know. I guess he just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you know. Stubbed his toe on the coffee table, lost the remote. You know, he's just not having a good day.
Yeah, walked on a Lego out of bed.
Ouch.
Unfortunate. And Baja getting validation off of Jump Guardian. But
we have like 2 in our seed.
I think so, yes.
It might be 3, I'm not sure. No, we have done the GFMC. That does mean, as Krar_Twitch points out in the chat, that GFMC is now open. Do you think we'll see them eager to check GFMC again?
Yeah, most definitely. Especially given they have power bombs now too, along with Screw Attack. They can logically check Grand Wind Chamber too, which is right next to it.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And we are seeing TGC do backwards flogger as you proposed.
Yes. So this is, I believe this is a randomizer specific thing, because if you try to go to Flogra in the vanilla game, I think it kind of bugs out and locks you out of getting Various Suit, if I recall correctly.
I don't remember. I messed with it in Prime Practice. I'm not sure if it works like that or not. But that doesn't quite sound accurate to my memory. I'm not sure though. I'm completely
Yeah.
uncertain of that.
Mm.
I know if you like warped to the back of Flogger's room or whatever, that it would work right. But it might be hitting that trigger in Sun Tower North that does it.
Yeah, maybe. I I don't exactly remember either, but I know there are some problems in the vanilla games that have been fixed for randomizer.
Also, we can still damage Flogger even though the boss hasn't spawned yet. It was just what you're seeing now. That's why Flogger is still like a bud. Now, we can't actually win the fight until we hit this start trigger, but we're just going to overlap some cutscenes, and we're done with the fight. That's unlimited missiles.
Well, actually,
Ooh.
with all cutscenes being made skippable, this is not necessary anymore. But before then, yes, we would skip. We would kind of blend both cutscenes together, and with one of them being skippable, we can just skip it and be straight in front of the item check.
Yeah, pretty much.
Looks like we've got Baja checking the Aegon energy controller, while Cestrion is checking Mineshaft. Very quick and fighting only a Dark Ammo expansion. Unfortunate.
Yeah, we have Screw Attack, but Cestrion isn't super interested in going for the Seeker lock skip.
Yes, this is definitely not in logic at the moment. And given that nobody has Amber Translator yet, it's not even useful for the hint. And no Light
No, it
Beam
is
either
not.
means we can't check Storage A, I think the room is. It's
I don't
something A.
remember. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, because it's storage C is the super missile lock in this same region. Cosmonaut takes a
Yeah,
death. I wasn't sure
takes
where
them.
that was. So storage A definitely sounds right, but that's a light beam door. We can't get it until we find the light beam, and we don't know where light beam is.
Checking the Battlegrounds hint for a movement system. Oh, interesting.
That's huge. That is super significant.
Yes, so
That's going to be locked by Dark Visor, unfortunately.
yeah, we're gonna want to get Dark Visor as soon as possible because movement systems are pretty big.
Yeah, we've already found boost in Spider Ball, so at that point, it's probably grapple, but it could be our gravity boost. We don't know. We don't want to risk it.
Yes, because yeah, I believe there's no way a movement system cannot be progression, and even if grapple would be useless to our players, most likely, it's still a good indication for logic reading.
Yeah. Just having the knowledge can really help you decide your plays.
Definitely. And Cestrion making quick work of Dark Samus with a power bomb. And securing Spider Ball for himself. Meanwhile, Baja has been doing some nice standables for in order to skip
I'm
the.
almost expecting a storage C out of bounds here using the secret world. And yeah,
It
we're going to
looks like
see
he's
it.
going for it. Yeah.
I've read that like a book.
Yeah, there are many out of bounds in echoes that are possible, and this is mostly possible thanks to screw attack, which gives you a morph ball hitbox while you're using it, meaning that you can enter the morph ball tunnels with the correct timing and positioning. But since you will land on the ground, the game will make you unmorph out of this screw attack state. Thus, you will have more height than the room ceiling, and you will be out of bounds that way. And Cosmo also going for an out of bounds that we have called IBBF, which are the initials for Ice Beam before Flagra. So in doing that, this allows the prime players to skip doing the puzzle in Energy Core, I think the room is called. But this room right there that Cosmo is in right now. Oh yes, and as Krar is pointing out in chat too, at some point the prime speedrunners have found another routing that makes that puts this wall crawl after Flagra. So they have called it IBBF AF for Ice Beam before Flagra, after Flagra.
Yeah, I'm not too privy on the different prime routes at this point, but yeah, there's a lot. There's definitely a lot that goes into the prime routing. It's not as open as some other games. There's definitely like a few key points that you're always hitting, but there's definitely a lot to it.
Yeah. All right. So IBBF has been successful from Cosmo. Although I'm not sure why he went for it when he has Wave Beam. Probably to skip the Ghost Fight. And given his proficiency that he has shown here, ooh, and Annihilator Beam. All right, so this is going to actually be kind of a big deal because since Cetrion doesn't have Light Beam yet, this could allow him to use the light portals in Dark Aether and activate them using Annihilator Beam instead of. And just in time for Cetrion to give Ice Beam to Cosmo. So fantastic team coordination from Check the Tree. While TGC has opted not to do the IBBF wall crawl and instead is being thorough for Farchozo. And it seems to pay off as Seeker missiles are in Elder Chamber.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Okay, so that, along with Emerald Translator and Boost Ball, I think is going to give Baja access to Torvus. But he is opting to check Phazon grounds and Profane Path too, since Echo has been in our possession since the beginning of the seed.
Yeah, since this is Echo, the moment we found Annihilator, this entered logic.
Yes.
We do have new patchers, so puzzle solution is random. We do have Darkseid, so we're gonna do looks like Phase on grounds.
Yes, definitely. And we'll have screw attack, making it possible without Dark Visor.
You could do it without Dark Visor anyways, but it looks like the Phase on grounds item isn't really anything worth going after.
Yeah, doesn't look like it. Ooh, and another STK in Great Tree Chamber. Yeah, and TGC deciding not to go for a Life Growth Tunnel, which is a wise choice as Boost Ball is not yet in possession. And while it is possible to check the Life Growth area without Boost Ball, it's definitely at risk for soft locks. Okay, so we just saw a reset from TGC and a save warp. I wonder if Cosmo is going to do the same. Yes, he is. So we've got some very close routing, some very neck and neck racing from our prime players here.
Yeah, this is pretty close so far. Is there anybody that you're giving the advantage to mentally?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't think so. They've pretty much done. They haven't done the same things. To be clear, there's just been a lot of divergence, but they've ultimately been to the same places and at about the same speed.
Yeah. So this is. I'd honestly say if one of them is at an advantage, it is by mere seconds.
Yes, I would agree. And it's kind of been that way for a lot of the seed.
And interesting. TGC is going to Magmor as well as Cosmo. They're probably trying to heat run Twin Fires Tunnel.
Baja slips off the GFMC ship. I wasn't sure if he was actually trying to aim for that. Oh, it looks like he was. It's just a missile on the ship, though. We don't need it, but it helps.
And TGC just rocking that R jump in Twin Fires Tunnel. So yeah, this is a very short heat run, as any area in Magmor past Twin Fires Tunnel is not superheated, thus not requiring Varia technically. Although, since this has been a heat run, this is still out of logic for the Prime players.
I was worried that Power Bomb would be too far away, but Baja Blood definitely knows better than me. Dark Torvus Key 1 in Wind Chamber Gateway.
Oh no. The Red Key madness is starting.
And that looks like some kind of movement item in Wind Chamber. I didn't get a good look at it.
I think this is Gravity Boost. This looked like it to me.
Backpack?
Yeah. Okay, and Baja is about to check the FTA item. So by looking up and using Space Jump at the right time, you can sort of jam your head into the geometry and see
You
through
can
the wall.
you can see that like the triangle is almost disappearing for a moment, and that gives us enough of a window to actually see what that item is. It's not enough of a window for us commentators because the screen is at like a fifth of its normal size, but it is for Baja Blood.
Yeah.
So that's information that he knows and we don't, unfortunately.
And chat just had to talk about the sync between Prime Racers just for us to see a divergence in routing. TGC is going for a Quarantine Cave, while Cosmo is going for Farfendrana. Oh, and never mind actually, not going to fight Thoris right now, and instead going back to Farfendrana 2, I suppose.
Yeah, you said our items were all pointing towards Vendrana, and well, we're here.
Yeah, but I said that earlier when we had Wave Beam and Plasma with only Varia missing to get there logically. However, now that we have Ice Beam too, it's really up to the suits that we will get. If we get Gravity, this might actually be pointing us towards Frigate and in turn Mines. Ooh, it looks like a key is in storage cave in Fendrana, but unfortunately, since we saw it using X-ray visor, we have no idea whether it's an STK or a Red Temple key. And Cetrion is going to Torvis for the first time as well. So maybe this could be the play with Emerald in hand. It's definitely going to give Cetrion a few extra hints that will most definitely be needed right now. And that's Boost Ball in Gravity Chamber. Oh.
That's pretty significant. That's like the last progression item that Prime has. Besides,
Any suit whatsoever.
besides that, of course.
And Amber Translator is in Underground Tunnel. There is always progression in Underground Tunnel, it looks like.
The light beam can be found in Dark Aegon Wastes. That is a huge hint. That is enormous. Is it vanilla?
Yeah, I was about to say, could it be vanilla?
That'd be insane. That would be insane.
Oh, but hold on. I don't think we've gotten a Morbis hint yet. Have we?
Oh, good lord. That would not be great. It could. Where are our Dark Aegon keys? I don't know where our Dark Aegon keys are yet.
I don't think this was hinted, actually. So, anyways, Cestrion is once again wall crawling in Torvis Temple without the light beam in order to access the rest of Torvis. He has to do this, and right now he is Aether jumping, I think, to Torvis Energy Controller, as we know there's an artifact in there. Yes, well, thank you, Kamia. We're doing our best to keep those explanations going. There's a lot going on the screen with 4 different streams happening at the same time. But yes, I'd say the best way to learn any kind of rando really is just play it over and over again. Use
Echo Supers in Research Lab Aether.
Yes. So this is big news. I think that right now that means our players can go check their STK hints as of now.
That is extremely convenient for Cestrion.
Yes. As well
we're at Torvis Temple.
Yeah. And just in Torvis in general, requiring a lot of super missiles.
Absolutely.
Right, and Cosmo showing off a nice little skip for Control Tower. So by jumping on top of these, on top of this pile of crates, we can sort of space jump up in such a way that we will be above the invisible walls, and we can fire a missile at the breakable thing that will collapse the tower, thus skipping the plasma beam requirement. And even though Cosmos still has a plasma beam at this moment, it's still faster to do that. than just melting the ice, destroying the crates, and firing the missile. And we just got the Dark Aegon Temple key hints, so Phase on Mines was all I was able to catch, unfortunately. And it looks like we also have something in All of Honor Dead, but I can't exactly see what it is. Oh, that's a Prime Powerbomb expansion. So this is going to be big for TGC. As right now he is in Farfendrana, that will allow him to get that key that Cosmo checked earlier in Storage Cave.
That's a nice powerbomb expansion. It always helps.
Yeah, and it
That's a
was
great
indeed
bridge.
a Sky Temple key, so Cosmo is going to have to come back there at some point. Unfortunate.
That is going to hurt. Because that's
Yeah.
really far out of the way.
Also, hear the words of O'Lear, last sentinel of the Fortress Temple. May they serve you well.
Wait, none of our winners went to Oliva. Is that in
But
the
we
chat?
got the joke. But we got the joke hint.
Oh, that's a light suit. That's a light suit for
Ooh.
Cestrion. That was in Ice Ruins West.
So there is a possibility that Lightbeam is in Feeding Pit.
Oh, that would be so bad. That would be so bad. Oh. Hold on. Well, you know the room where you have to go to Powerbomb Guardian before it'll spawn? Is that something we can do without light beam? Please tell me it isn't.
So you mean Under Temple Shaft?
Yes.
We
have Annihilator from the portal.
Yeah, we have Annihilator right now.
Is that possible? Please tell me it's not.
Okay, let me think. They don't have Grav Boost yet.
Okay.
So I
It was
don't
in Wind
think
Chamber,
it is.
though.
Oh yeah, it was in Wind
If
Chamber.
we have Seekers, we have Annihilator from the
Yeah,
portal.
we do have Seekers,
So
we have
can get
Annihilator.
Grav Boost. That's in logic. We
Oh
can
my
just do the
goodness.
puzzle.
Yeah, you're right. And Baja not having missiles, but super missiles, but still opting to do a wall crawl in order to skip that requirement and go to the Sky Temple key hints nonetheless. And just in time for TGC to grab them in Research Lab Aether. Comedic timing. My favorite.
Womp womp.
Oh, and Cestrion going back to Temple Grounds from Torvus, now that Amber is in hand. Probably to check the hints too. That's already 5 STKs on Baja's side. Yeah, I didn't take notice of that. Yeah. All right, training chamber.
The good one.
Mm-hmm.
Transport B
access.
So that's Great Temple. That's also pretty easy. Fiery Shores.
Fiery Shores. Once we have Laria, that's free.
Life Grove. That's it.
Yeah.
Life Grove's the hardest one, and that's not that hard. And also, I think it's funny that Fiery Shores has both an artifact and an STK.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it had an artifact. Funny.
That's funny. Packed. They're just stuffing all their doodads in Magmor today. I don't know.
Well, yeah, at this point...
Just put a Chaos Emerald in there, one of the Dragon Balls. I'd call it a
day. Yeah. And maybe one of the time gears while we're at it. All right, and with that, with those hints out of the way, now it looks like that Cosmo is going to be checking Chapel of the Elders real quick.
Yeah, this is definitely a good decision. We have wave beam, and it's nothing.
It's nothing. Nothing too important.
Hold on, my dog is whining. I'm gonna go take care of that. I'll be right back. Give me like
All right.
5 minutes.
I'll take care of things while you go do that. So Cestrion is also going for hints. Although there's going to be one. It's going to be one less or one more, I believe. Yeah, one more from the storage cave SCK that Cosmo couldn't get earlier. In the meantime, TGC being done with reverse labs gives Baja the double damage. Going back to Aegon, I think he's just going to Torvus through Aegon as well. All right. So as Cosmo has already been through labs, and Cestrion has just gotten the hints, I'd be willing to bet that Cosmo is about to go fight Thordis and go back to Farfen, because I believe this would be some optimal routing, given the fact that this would full clear Fendrana. So Cosmo will not have to ever go back here unless it's for routing reasons. And also a high five, yes, indeed. Or no, not. Instead, opting to skip Thordis. Unfortunately, not quite getting it, so this is going to be a fight. Not even that, just a reset. And I perfectly understand. Yeah, that's right. We haven't been to mines yet, and having all those beams kind of calls us in there. So yeah, my mistake. Well, speaking of prime E-tanks, we found some. 3 E-tanks is it should be rather comfortable for our prime runners here. Now all we need is a few suits for the increased damage resistance. So now instead, Cosmo choosing to go the long way around back through labs, which is understandable. The Thordis skip can be a little finicky at times, and this has been one of those times. Ooh, and another Red Temple key hint from Baja. Oh, right, no, those were the Aegon hints. Okay, so a bit of an explanation for that movement that Cosmo is doing there. So as you might have noticed, Cosmo never had to fight the pirates in the control tower, and that is because the fight trigger in this room is actually a little bit in front of the door. So there's a tiny space in which you can go from which you can jump on top of the door and then go out.
Hello.
Oh,
I have
welcome back.
returned. Apologies, my dogs just needed to go outside. I have to accompany them out. You know.
Yeah. So as I was explaining, the Using this little space, you can kind of just skip going through the fight trigger and just skip the fight entirely. DGC is still opting to fight Mama Shigoth in Chapel of the Elders. Oh, but that was for an energy tank. Maybe, yeah, that's a fair decision given the lack of suits at the moment. And so far, I don't think we have located any of them.
And Baja Blood now getting that light beam hint well after Cestrion did.
Meanwhile, speaking of Cestrion, collecting the Amber Hints...
Gravity boost in Ing Reliquary.
Ing Reliquary.
Okay, so that was a grapple beam in Wind Chamber.
Yeah, that was a grapple beam then.
Okay, because it's kind of ambiguous, because they sort of have some similar shapes if you're just looking at the top part of the item.
Yeah.
So it can be easy to mix them up.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Boost Ball and Spider Ball, which are pretty subtle. I don't even know what the difference is in mono. There is one, but I don't know.
Yeah. So the difference between Boost Ball and Spider Ball is the little notches on the side of the ball. Boost Ball will have the dark suit Morph Ball appearance before Spider Ball, and Spider Ball will have it after Spider Ball. So the little red notches that are on the side of the Morph Ball.
That's another Dark Torvus key. I think that's not the one we found earlier.
No, that's another one. Baja has also been showing off a nice
system in Under Transit 1 for Cosmonauts. So I assume that's main power bombs.
Probably. If it's not a Morph Ball related upgrade, or was it a Morph Ball system?
I think it was a system.
Okay, so I think yeah, it's got to be power bombs, probably. So we know that Light Beam is somewhere in Dark Aegon Temple. Dark Aegon Wastes. I'm letting my predictions get the best of me. It could still be in Dark Aegon Temple, which would be terrible.
Yeah, it's still possible.
Mm-hmm.
There's an Ice Beam hint. That's not helpful.
Yeah, it can't be in Battleground either because that's a movement system. Oh yeah, right. Wasn't that Gravity Boost then? Or no, this could have been Prime Grapple too.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a root STK in Fendrana on the Storage Cave.
Yeah, that Cosmonaut is definitely not going to appreciate that. We are seeing some VMR now. The SDK is something that, now that we've got that, Baja's definitely going to get to keep that.
Yeah.
And we're going to head to the elevator. We're going to get out. After we get this artifact? Nope. Not. Oh, we're going to try for it.
Yeah, that's definitely the play because...
You're not going to get to keep that, though.
Oh, yeah,
right. We're going
right.
to save and quit? But we can't do that in Prime.
No,
are we waiting for the various suit?
Waiting for
I
an
love that.
Yes.
The Magmor still might kill us.
Or yeah. Unfortunate. Though this could have been a really funny play if it paid off.
That would have been grand.
Yeah, speaking of life growth, Cosmo is going for it at the moment. Unfortunately, not quite getting the bomb jump, which is rather tricky, in all fairness. Right, so this was not in the gyro. So, we are just an hour in right now. What do you think of this race so far?
There's, I don't know what to think. At this point, our runners are just really close together. It's hard to decide who's got a lead here. I want to say OVG is in the lead because they have more information and are playing a little more. They're a bit further along, but even that is kind of tenuous.
Yes, definitely.
Would you agree
Yeah,
that OVG kind of has the lead right now, at least for the
I,
moment?
yeah, definitely has the lead in terms of intelligence and just general hints and knowing where to go. And as they say, knowledge is power. Ooh, but Cosmo right here is heading for mines.
Sestrion gonna do the out of bounds just to skip this room, the puzzle, because we already have the supers for storage C.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, wait, Sestrion. Yeah, we didn't already do this puzzle, so we are skipping it this way.
Yeah, by
That's
firing
always funny.
by firing some missiles and stuff at the. Yeah, I know. I worded that very poorly.
Yeah, that definitely looked a bit slower than just doing the puzzle, though. That's kind of unfortunate. It is a bit of a gamble like that. That secret world
Yeah.
is a bit tricky.
Mhm. But yeah, in terms of intelligence, I could have worded that better.
Yeah,
But
yeah. We're not talking about like
yeah,
smart. We're talking about
smart.
intel.
Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. Oops.
Yeah, yeah. Both of our teams are really experienced and have a lot of game knowledge.
Yeah,
So
far from me
it's
the
it's not really fair to say, oh, this team has, you know,
yeah.
they
I
they
was
both had so much time with the game. They're basically on
yeah.
par.
They when I was speaking intelligence, I was thinking more like as intel.
Yes, yes. I know what you were saying.
Hmm.
I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Team Check the Tree has lived up to its name already.
Yeah, that was actually one of our, I believe, a more fall upgrade.
Hmm. Oh, don't you worry, Sam. I'm very used to chatters messing with me.
Yeah, it does happen. I'm glad they understand.
Hmm. But it's definitely better to be clear and avoid misunderstandings, because I know I'm definitely prone to making some misunderstandings. Okay, so Baja is looks like Baja right now is looking. Oh, yeah, we haven't thought of Warrior's Walk for Light Beam too. This could be a possibility, and this one's actually pretty good. Unfortunately, it's just a Primey tank. Hmm.
Yeah, and without our Dark Visor, we aren't going to be getting that movement system for Prime, which again is probably just Grapple Beam. Actually, was it
Yeah.
for Prime? Or was it? I don't remember.
Oh my goodness!
It's
It
that
was
Gravity
in Ink
Boost.
Cache 2.
Oh, Light Beam is Annihilator locked. Oh, that's fantastic. That's
That is fantastic.
ridiculous.
But
That is
also,
not the worst place, but it is like the funniest place.
yeah. And on a side note for concerning Dark
That
Visor,
item is never something.
we have found Dark Visor. It was in main quarry.
Oh, it
Cosmo found it.
was. Oh, Cestrion has it. Yeah, you're right. I didn't realize.
So right now, So that right now, Cosmo is very comfortable being in mines right now, as he has all the items to do the complete loop without missing anything. The only thing of really significance is going to be power bombs, because we only can carry at maximum one at the moment. So farming for power bombs is going to be kind of a big deal, especially if we're going to do the lower mines loop right now. Right. So while you were gone, KR, we found Light Beam in Cache 2, so that was Annihilator locked. And
this in-cache has. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
Prime
grapple beam.
Beam. Looks like Cestron is still going to grab it, even
May as
though
well.
Cosmo, yeah, even though
Cosmo
Cosmo
definitely doesn't need it.
yeah, but it's always nice to have for some movement. And can make a few rooms a little faster.
Yeah, Cosmo is like the 5th place runner of Metroid Prime now, I think. And well, that might not sound like a lot being in 5th place, but that is like ridiculously good. He's the best
Yeah,
Prime player in the tournament in terms of pure mechanics,
definitely.
without
So
a doubt.
to put 5th place in perspective, basically being top 10 on the Prime speedrunning leaderboards basically goes hand in hand with having sub-hour times.
Okay, we had a hit for Gravity Boost in Sky Temple Grounds. Baja just got that.
Oh, okay.
That was an Amber.
Yeah, and finishing the game in under an hour is really, really big. Oh, and TGC already having all the artifacts he needs, decides to go fight Ridley for the Phase-On 2 hint. So in this randomizer for Prime 1, if you basically Phase-On 2 is required to beat the game because you need it in order to use Hyper Beam against Metroid Prime, which without it you cannot defeat it. So for as a quality of life, the randomizer actually adds a general hint for the Phase-On suit location in the room right where you teleport into Impact Crater.
Yeah, and this is what we're playing for right now. Because the Phase-On, without that hit, is just a complete toss-up. And if we have our 9 artifacts, we really want to get that. Various students in Torvus Plaza. Big news, Cestrion just got the hint.
Okay, so Corvus Plaza, kind of a terrible room.
Yeah, we need Spider Ball, we need Boost Ball.
And even then,
it's still way out
of
the way.
It's a very long room to do if you don't know some of the strats. The vanilla puzzle here is absolutely terrible. Thankfully, there are a few ways to get around it. And
also, this is a really bad maze. That was a pretty bad
yeah.
maze. Dirk Aegon Key 2. Phase-On Suit is in Phase-On Mines.
All right, as it usually is. Yeah, neither of our teams at this point are going to need the suits. Although it would definitely be necessary logically. They can just skip the requirements by heat running or doing some gravless underwater movement. There are many options, and right now the only suit that we really need is Phase-On to finish the game.
Absolutely. Our Echoes players already have light suits, so that's not a concern.
Definitely not. X-Ray was in Tower of Light. Do you answer your question, chat? Yeah, Varia does bring a lot of damage reduction to the table. So, kind of a hidden mechanic in Prime One is the suit's damage reduction. So in the vanilla games, you would the higher your suit is, the higher its damage reduction is. So by the time you get phase on suit, you'll get 50% damage reduction.
which is
Although
enormous.
yes, it's really big.
It's not as
Although
big as the 75% you can get with the suits in Super Metroid, but it's still
Mhm.
huge.
Yeah. So a randomizer change too is since you don't really get the suits in a linear order, you can just have a cumulative suit damage reduction. So each suit will individually add its set percentage to your damage reduction value.
That was a very quick Torvus Plaza from Cestrion. That was very good. Cestrion just got it. Kazuma is going to be very happy about that.
So yeah, speaking of light beam for Team Orange versus Green, um I believe they have the all the knowledge to go get it.
Yeah, I
So
don't think that's going to be a
that
problem.
yeah, that even then, if they can skip it, that's probably even better.
Yeah, there's not a hard requirement to have Light Beam to complete the game that I can think of. Actually,
Neither can I.
I'm trying to think about our hints, but I'm kind of my mind is blanking a bit.
Yeah, this has been a very quick race.
Absolutely, this is probably going to be done within it well before an hour 45 at this rate.
Yeah, definitely.
Phase on suit is really the last roadblock we have to worry about.
Mhm.
And TGC is already starting the hunt.
Yeah, and we know there's one place it absolutely cannot be, and that is in Phazon Mining Tunnel, as that
Of
would
course,
logically require Phazon suit.
it's actually the only item in the game with that logical requirement.
Yes.
Baja Blood, meanwhile, has just returned all of the STKs. So we have all our artifacts, all our STKs, and TGC knows that the suit is in his game, and he's got everything he could ever possibly need. So Baja's just going to finish the game right now.
Yeah, it's actually quite rare we're seeing Echoes finish before Prime for once.
This is very uncommon, yes.
Mhm. So very very cool.
OVG really did a great job this seed.
Yeah, definitely. And to explain what Cosmonaut is doing right now, he is trying to shoot the zoomer that is behind the power bomb rubble here, because because this zoomer is guaranteed to drop a PB.
And we need a PB to blow up this rubble. It's ordinarily meant to be like something Nintendo puts there in case you're coming from the other side and you don't have a PB. But we
Yeah.
want to get it from this side, and that's a bit tricky. It's possible, though.
And
They
the
didn't
problem
intend for it to be, but it is.
And the time it took for me to explain it, Baja was already done with Emperor Ing 1. This is what double
That's
damage,
phenomenal.
unlimited beam ammo, and Annihilator beam does to Emperor Ing 1. Very quick.
This is your boss on unlimited beam ammo. At
Yeah.
EI2, we had a lot of power bombs, which is really the only item that helps there. Besides Spider Ball, which we basically need.
And then making full use of the screw attack. Unfortunately, not quite getting the.
Yeah, EI3 hasn't been quite playing as nice as it can.
Yeah.
So this is definitely not as smooth as we would like it to be, but we're still doing good damage. And we have plenty of health, so that's not really a concern.
Yeah.
Emperor 3 down. Now we just have to do the final fight with Dark Samus.
Yeah. So as we are going to be approaching the Dark Samus Brie fight, there's a little mechanic that I would like to talk about, and that's what we call getting centered. So
Yes.
in the vanilla game, Dark Samus 3 goes into Dark Samus 4 for the fight. This is when she kind of turns into an orb in the middle of the arena and shoots Phazon at you. There's a way to
Right.
skip this, and there are multiple ways of going about it. You can
Basically, the
Yeah.
gist is that if you can keep Dark Samus 4 from going to the center of the arena, she'll be stuck in the Dark Samus 3 mode where she takes a bunch of damage from everything and you can totally just kill her. If she actually runs out of energy in DS3, the game will just end. It doesn't require you to get to DS4. The problem is that we have to find a way to keep Dark Samus from doing that, from going to the center of the arena. And the way to do that is just by getting her to pause. And you could do that with a missile, which is actually really convenient because Dark Samus throws up a shield whenever you fire a missile at her. We can abuse this as a way to keep her in place because she's not moving. You can see Baja Blood did it just now. Dark Samus isn't moving during that block animation. So we can use that as a perfect opportunity to fire some Dark Beam shots. You'll also see some runners use the screw attack, but Dark Beam is a bit safer.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And there it goes.
consistent.
We
And
never see Dark Samus 4 at GG.
not a single G. TGC has not yet finished.
Yes, we're not done yet. Cosmonaut just got the
getting a
base
hint.
suit hit. So that should be the cue to stop collecting red keys.
Indeed. Or just anything, really. But there are still no signs of thermal visor, which both of our runners definitely can live without. But it's just a nice comfort item to have for Metroid Prime. Indeed, this was a jet seat for Echoes. Not only finishing ahead of Prime for once, but also finishing in 1 hour and 20 minutes in real time. So now I'm curious to see what the in-game time is on Baja's side. All right. So what TGC did here to this phase on Elite is he was able to beat it very very quickly by abusing its AI. So what happens when a phase on Elite gets out of its tank is it first will try to lock eyes with you. And as
Yes.
long as it's not locking eyes with you, it's not going to attack you and retaliate, even if you attack the phase on Elite back. So basically, what you can do is you can sort of circle strafe around the phase on Elite, and he will never attack. And you can unload 10 missiles into its face, and that will kill him very fast.
Yes, along with the missile spamming technique, that really works super well. That's something we don't tend to explain a lot, but if you press the missile button and then immediately press A, or I believe you can also use the C stick,
Yeah,
that sort of cancels the missile animation and lets you fire one again very, very quickly. It's not intended. It is actually possible to do in the remaster, though, from what I've heard.
Yeah, the C stick is not possible, but I think you can still do it with the beam button.
Yes. And part of that is because, like, the beam button, you know, the animation of it takes you out of the missile, where, like, the claws are out on the sides. It goes back to being a normal beam cannon, and doing that faster actually lets you repeat. I don't know if that's the cause and effect, but that's kind of how I explain it.
Yeah, so and that's also why there is it's only doable with a power beam.
Yes, because the power
You,
beam fires quickly. Whereas it is possible to do with other beams, but you're locked to whatever that beam's rate of fire is.
well, not quite, I think. It's mostly the animation of the cannon getting back to the shape of the corresponding beam.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. TGC does a scan dash off the glider.
And having found phase on suit in what I believe is fungal hole access.
Yeah, we're just going to get to the nearest save station, do a save warp, and go finish the game.
Mhm.
All right. Cobalt was in reactor core. That's funny.
Oh, interesting. But all right, now Cestrion is headed for the for his final bosses as well. All right, and the save warp from TGC. So now this is really just going to be final bosses galore. Yeah, Exoskip could be a play available to Cosmo right now. So Exoskip, skinny on it. Exoskip is kind of a
There's
wall
phase, huh?
crawl in order to go around the Prime Exoskeleton fight. So by manipulating a Metroid to come into the next room with you and having it latch onto you, you can kind of place yourself in a specific spot that you will unmorph out of bounds, and thus you will be able to wall crawl around all of the subchambers that in which the exo fight takes place, and that will in turn allow you to directly load into the final boss fight with Metroid Prime Essence. So this is not only does it save time in speedruns, but it's also really big for randomizers because it goes around needing to have all of the beams for the exo fight.
That's right. That's right. And we do have all the beams, but it's also just a long fight, and it saves time to do it regardless. Cosmonaut is one
Yes.
of the experts, the premier expert in our tournament, I would say, on doing exoskip. Was the one to learn it first in terms of our randomizer community, so is very much predisposed to doing it.
Yes, definitely. Ooh, unfortunately, not quite getting Cosmo, not quite getting ship dash. Almost got it though.
And G to Cestrion.
Indeed, G. Indeed, Cestrion finishing without without light beam. No, that was Baja. My bad. In the meantime, TGC showing off some some strats for EXO, namely firing a super missile while it turns around during its power beam phase, getting plasma into subchamber 3, which is very good. We want that.
Cosmonaut is looking to do exo skip.
Oh, yes, indeed. And
So far,
manages
so
to
good.
get the Metroid into the other room.
And now we want it to kind of sway into us and knock us out of bounds. Oh,
That was almost it.
oh, ah!
Unfortunate. Meanwhile, TGC is into subchamber 4. So this is a very nasty subchamber. This is the final subchamber
Not that one either.
for EXO, as it in this subchamber it can randomly switch beam resistances and also randomly decide to have its animations go twice as fast.
Yeah, that one doesn't get talked about enough. That's a pretty huge factor. Cosmonaut does manage to get out of bounds, but at this point, I still think TGC is going to finish first.
Well, that is if we don't see any pool skip on TGC's side, which hopefully we won't. Losing a race to a pool skip will definitely be very frustrating.
Remind me, is the winning team decided by cumulative time or by
It is
which team
cumulative
completes?
time.
Okay, so that means that OVG kind of has this in the bag, because Baja Blood's been done for like 7 minutes, for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. It's gonna be hard to gain 7 minutes on the final bosses fight for Prime 1.
Yeah. And TGC is probably going to finish first anyways.
Yes.
We've already started Essence, and Cosmonaut is still doing Exo Skip.
Ooh, that is a very poor pool placement from Essence there. So the thing is, pool skips, which are what happens when Essence just skips doing the animation for laying a pool, tend to occur when Essence is close by the Exo carcass. So you want to manipulate it to be as far away as possible from it. But sometimes you don't always you don't have full control over where it is, and sometimes it will just do this. And oh, actually, it's not. It's a lot better for this this pool, but the first pool was a little scary. So what TGC?
Also, what we're seeing is that TGC doesn't have the thermal visor, so we're trying to find Essence using the scan visor, because even when Essence is invisible, you can still see their scan point. The issue with this is that you can't lock onto it while you're firing, and that Essence is very, very fast. So knowing where it is at one point in time tells you nothing about where it's going to be in, like 3/4 of a second, because it moves very quickly. It darts around a lot. Doesn't stand still for you.
Yeah.
We pretty much have to do this abuse, like you're seeing TGC do, just to keep it from going all over the place.
Yes, although there is a silver lining to it, and it is when you do hit Essence while it's invisible, there will be some impact particles showing off, even if Essence is invisible at the moment. So this will tell you whether you are hitting it or not. So you're not completely clueless, just as Cosmo is showing off right here.
Yes.
Unfortunately, on TGC's side, Essence is
A little close to
pool.
the comfort.
Yeah. So the reason that TGC is buffering some of these shots is that
just barely not enough damage.
just barely.
We should have done a little bit more of the buffering.
Yeah. So this buffering serves to kind of accelerate the fight, because Essence is programmed to lay a pool after a certain number of animations, but doing this this kind of makes it skip over the animation, and that way you can just scroll through it, and that's GG's for Team Orange versus Greens.
Unfortunately, Cosmonaut's audio is apparently not good. I'm not quite sure why that was. I assume there was a reason for that.
And nonetheless, finishing up right after TGC is Cosmonaut from Team Check the Tree.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Baja. GG's.
Jeez, I feel pretty dang good about that one. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was really slick the way you finish up with Echoes. That was a big part of what ultimately got you the win today.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Cosmonaut?
Hello, Cosmo. GG's.
This race was brought to you by Varia Suit.
Yeah, we never got Varia, we never got Light. DGC was a trooper who did all the hell running.
I thought about doing it, but I only had like 3 tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the E-tanks were really big, and we really saw Team Orange versus Green go for as many E-tanks as possible, making those VMRs possible.
Yeah, they were really going out of the way for him.
Indeed. So, while we are waiting for the Prime players right now, how would you like to talk about some of the routing for Echoes, the early Dark Beam and into the Annihilator Beam? How did this affect the general routing and your decision for checking out Aegon then Torvis, for instance?
We are still waiting for Cestrion, the other Echoes player.
Oh, my bad. My mistake. Oops.
Cosmonaut is a Prime player.
Sorry.
I was just popping in to say GG's.
Yeah, GG's.
I hate C's like that. They suck. And
That was a tough one.
I was in mines before doing Ridley, and I was like, let me go check Ridley. And if I would have just kept going, I would have been able to probably finish maybe 10 minutes sooner.
Yeah,
I stay warped, did Ridley, found the info, and then that kept Cestrion from finishing. He could have finished maybe a bit sooner. Might have been a bit closer, but you know.
And there is TGC, our
Last
other
chance
Prime
decisions.
runner. Cestrion's about to join us as well. There he
Oh,
is.
there he is.
Welcome you too. GG's.
GG's. Oh my god, my heart is racing at the end of that.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, so TGC and Cosmo, you both finished really close from each other with like a 15 seconds gap.
I figured. Pulled out crazy exo skip, hoping it would do anything, but it didn't.
Yeah,
that Varia suit was unfortunate.
Where was Varia? Because we never saw it. The only suit I've got is Phazon.
Oh. Yeah, it was in Torvis Plaza.
Thermal sync.
Yeah, there was a hint
controller.
for that. It was an amber hint in Mining Station A.
Yeah, if I like immediately went out after Amber and go get all the hints, I would have been so much faster there, yeah. But I thought I would missing it in, I don't know, sand processing or bioenergy, but wasn't there, so I lost a lot of time there.
Was Light Beam in cache too? I missed it in both of our credits.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, it was.
It was in cache too.
Yeah, it was Annihilator locked.
I realized as soon as I turned around, I was like, shoot, I can't open the crystal. Like, if it was just an in cache 2, I lost time by turning around immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking about
in
that
front of
skip.
I was in front of the Annihilator door when TGC got the hint, and I was like, oh, I'm done. And I just turned around from the Annihilator door and left, and then realized I had to raw awkwardly through Temple.
Gravity's suit was in Triclops pit.
We just never really found any Prime E was really unfortunate.
Most of mines came from Fen because I skipped into the back of Fendrana with all the beams on 1E tank and found two or three. Yeah, I done Chapel the Elders for a 4th E tank and then started doing the VMR stuff from there.
Yep. I skipped Chapel. I did the same thing, but then I had to backtrack. Didn't have a power bomb. I peeked Storage Cave and was like, that's going to be an STK.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue on my way. Ends up being an STK.
Baha found the power bomb as I was leaving, literally as I was leaving the kind of the Fen Edge area or the far Fen area. Found a power bomb expansion, so I just looped back round into it, so we never had to go back.
Yeah, I got the PB expansion a bit late, but yeah, the problem was that I knew where prime main PBs were, but I had never reason to go immediately there because
where were they then?
I think
Under
it
Transit
was
1.
under Transit 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So you could have gotten that when you were like getting that SDK and training chamber. But yeah, I think I played this too safe. I should have been more risky.
Yeah, we were
Sank
very
entrance.
aggressive.
Yeah, I played Sank entrance.
I did too, actually. It was funny. I checked prime bombs after getting my bombs right away. I was about to do comm area and turn around, and TGC was like, "You should probably go do the crate."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay." And then it was
He
prime
was
bombs.
mumping and moaning as he's walking over to the GFMC crate and finds bombs, and he's like, "What?"
Yep.
So TGC prevented me from letting GFMC own me again.
I got like the Emerald Translator, and I did like a save rope after like doomed entry, and then I got the bombs like immediately there, and then I was like, I don't have PVs, but I doubt I'm gonna have to backtrack there again, so let's just do it, and then
Do you have screw attack at least?
bombs. I had screw attack, yeah. It wasn't
Because it's logical with screw attack, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, but
logical.
it's just annoying because like you get the bombs and you want to do the ship item when
Oh,
you're at GFMC.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
why I didn't want to go there.
Yeah,
plus I
same.
knew my
But
PBs
then I
were
was
tuned.
like, I bet something is there. So I went there, and yeah, of course, prime bombs. It was also a good timing for Cosmo, but yeah, it's just
I was
man.
sat inside Burn Dome because we found the spider in Burn Dome, and I was like, I don't want to come back for this. I don't want to leave. I'm just going to sit here because there's nothing. The only other thing I could have done was like training chamber wall crawl to spend some BK time. But I was like, I don't want to have to reset out of getting spider because it's so slow to come back for it. So I just sat there until bombs showed up.
Yeah, I mean, if I had missed that,
Yeah,
that would have been
too.
a whole race there because it would have been probably at least 5 minutes before I got back for each
Yeah.
of us.
I assume it was just neck and neck until about an hour in.
Yeah,
those
basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
VMRs plus not getting PB drops was like the quintessence here.
Yeah, no, it's the VMR and me not continuing through mines because I went straight through mines and stopped at Central Dynamo because he found Varia, and I was like, all right, I'll just get what he needs and I'll go do Ridley. But if I would have just went 2 rooms, I would have found Phazon and we would have just been able to finish right then and there.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
Always
unfortunate.
stings.
Yeah,
But that's how it turns out sometimes.
Yep.
So
Wrong
what I
decision.
want to say real quick is that Cosmo and TGC, you both were very much in sync during the first half of the race. You took almost exactly the same routes, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm on Dolphin, so I had to like really go as fast as I possibly could to like try and keep up with Nintendo loads.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't think we really. The early part of the seed for us in Prime was pretty straightforward. I don't think there was too much for us until all 3 beams pretty much all dropped in at the same time, almost.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then it was
pretty
like, pick your poison. Where do you want to go? What would you like to do? But you can't go to Magmur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, indeed. That I mentioned that a little early when both Prime players had the Wave Beam and Plasma Beam. I mistakenly suggested Fendrana, forgetting that we don't have Varia's suit, and as it turns out, we didn't need it.
Yeah, I think it was like I really begrudged the idea of doing Thardis when we were originally thinking about skipping into Far Magma. But Baha, just as we were like talking it out, Baha literally came across Ice Beam and it was like, well, we can just do everything at this point. It doesn't matter what we do. We just have to pick the right direction first.
Yeah, pretty much. And also the absence of gravity suit too, because that I believe would open up parts of Phazon mines logically too.
Depends where Thermal was, because I still never saw Thermal.
It was in Sank Energy Controller.
Yep.
So I guess logically, yeah, you might have been expected to go through Frigate and never see Varia for a
Well,
while.
Gravity was in Magmor. It's in Triclops.
Oh, so it was, yeah. So it was.
Yes,
Yeah,
so-
nah, it could have happened, yeah.
Mhm.
So this has been a prime example of going around the terrible logic of the seed to make it a jet seed. Then
Mhm.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Skipping light beam. I mean, it was kind of fortunate that missing light beam didn't matter at all because it wasn't really needed for any of the cleanups.
Yeah, we didn't need that at all.
Yeah.
I think Sestrion found it eventually.
Yeah, I knew that like light beam was in Dark Aegon Waste, but I didn't immediately went for it because I was like, I need to find Varia, not light beam.
Yeah. Whereas like we just pushed the artifacts and SDKs immediately. Rather than
Yeah, I should have done that. I was like, because
We
of the
found a
lack
lot
of
of
things.
SDKs on Path as well, which was very beneficial.
Yeah, we did too. It was just like I think when I got Amber, I think I only was missing like 2 SDKs or something. So yeah.
But no, I look forward to watching this one back because this feels like
Yeah,
our toughest match of the bracket. So I am excited to see just how much this shaped up.
I'm almost positive. Didn't the last thing we lose Sestrion have a Varia very late? Or am I misremembering? We seem to have bad luck with these kind of seeds.
Yeah. those various suits that are like very far away are like our
Mhm.
downfall. I think there was one in the asyncs.
So what you're saying is that next time we just RA Varia starting item?
I mean,
You know, I'll take that. I'll take that over missiles, honestly.
I'm kind of gutted that we didn't RA for vanilla suit damage because I could have done with some like not 10% suit reduction.
Oh,
I had to
God.
take final bosses
Yeah.
very carefully.
God. Well, that's GG's. I know it's
Yeah, GG.
good, close match. I knew it would be.
Yeah, GG.
I
Yeah,
gotta
indeed.
start getting ready. So, everyone, hope you all have a good
We do as
rest
well.
of your day.
Yeah.
We've got a race in just over an hour, so we need to take a little bit of a break and recoup.
Try to like
Avoiding
reset
the-
my
avoiding
memory
the
of what
seed
checks
bleed.
I've done, what hits I have.
Seed bleed.
But hey, no 230-hour seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay, for
Cost.
rolling.
God,
rolling
I
up
was
yesterday.
so scared. This is gonna be 2.5 hour seed. I was just
Yeah.
like, watch it be my luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, glad it turned
Yeah,
out
this was
good.
really a best case scenario.
Best.
Definitely.
Hour and a half. Can't complain.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, GG's. I'll see y'all later. Have a good
Yeah,
day.
GG's.
Night.
GG's catches.
Yeah, and with all that, I think we're just about ready to wrap up, unless y'all have any more closing thoughts on this seed.
Not really.
Not really.
Oh
I'm
boy.
good. Oh boy.
Yeah, looking forward to watching it back. Appreciate you both doing the commentary. Shout out to
Yeah.
SpeedGaming getting the pronouns into the layout. Love that.
Yo, that is
Yeah,
so
I
good.
Yeah,
appreciate that. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I
recent
just
thing.
noticed. That's
That's
cool.
awesome. That's awesome.
So, with all that out of the way, this was Team Check the Tree versus Team Orange versus Green, whose next race we will see about 1 hour from now on this very channel. So, good luck to you both.
Why are we doing this?
Hey. Yeah, someone put that bash quote in chat.
Why? Needless suffering!
Maybe I gin the seed to get back at ya.
Oh dear.
Please don't.
Yes. Ooh, all right. Well, to wrap it up, this has been Check the Tree versus Team OVG. GG's to both teams. This has been Bello and Pure Roulette on commentary for Speed Gaming 1.
Yeah.
Take care and see you all next mission.
See you next mission.
Bye bye.
Bye.